Well, we're now joined by Marci Ien, the Minister for Women, Gender Equality and Youth. Marci, good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Pleasure to be with you, Michael.
Listen, I want to begin with the questions that were being asked today about Conservative MP Kathy Wagenthal and her bill to protect pregnant women from violence. Now, in talking about that during the news conference, you said that you would not be tricked into, this government would not be tricked into going to places where the access to abortion is limited for women. Is that how you see Ms. Wagenthal's bill, a trick to reopen the abortion debate?
Michael, the fact of the matter is this particular member has led several bills. There have been 6 bills in the past several years that look a lot like this one. That would look to reopen the discussion on abortion, and that is something that this government will not and is never willing to do. And so, yes, whether it is, you know, a backdoor discussion or opening this discussion in a backdoor way, we're not going to do it, and we will always stand with the right to access abortions. It's what we were talking about earlier today. It's about access right across this country. And we know that there are people behind the numbers we see. What are the numbers? 1 in 3 people who are pregnant will try to access an abortion. That's a huge number. This is what we want to talk about. This is what Canadians, frankly, want us to talk about and stand up for.
Well, let's talk about today's announcement, because your government is directing just under $5 million to 2 organizations. The aim here is to reduce barriers to abortions, but also to provide what you highlighted as accurate information on reproductive health. What kind of disinformation are you concerned about?
Well, we see it online. We see, you know, the misinformation and disinformation, but I think Farah Khan from Action Canada highlighted things very, very well. She has a crisis hotline as part of what Action Canada does, and that hotline has seen an increase of 70%. 70% of people phoning with questions. And she did a very good job with saying these aren't just numbers, these are people with real stories. Young people who are looking for access to abortions, mothers who are looking for access to abortions, people who weren't sure where to go, who to call, picked up the phone and called those crisis lines. She was very, very clear in making sure that to combat any misinformation out there, that we come back with facts, and not just facts, but the people behind those numbers.
Well, you know, you're saying all that, and I'm thinking about New Brunswick right now, because as you know, the only province that does not offer standalone clinics. The federal government, your government has attempted to address that by essentially clawing back health funding in New Brunswick. So far that hasn't worked. So are you concerned that the province will keep ignoring the issue of access to a safe abortion?
You know, we stand, and we will always stand, for full access in every single province and territory in this country. So whether it is clawing back on monies, whether it is standing up for women, whether it is funding grassroots organizations so that women can access what they need to access anywhere in this country. Sometimes, Michael, that means somebody in one part of the country, I'm thinking of rural parts of this country, find it difficult to get access, the access that they need, and can phone a crisis line and get the transportation, get the information, get the money that they need to travel somewhere else to get what they need. It's the good work of UBC as well. And the CART program, as Wendy outlined today, that are looking at the disaggregated data around this, those that are underserved, Indigenous, racialized people, 2S LGBTQI plus people, and what that looks like in those communities. Often, you know, rural communities, some of them, of course, urban too. So it really is about making sure that grassroots organizations, like the ones that were alongside me today, get what they need to serve women right across this country and serve them well.
Marci, really appreciate the time tonight. I know you have a busy schedule. Thank you for fitting us in.
So good to be with you. Thank you so much, Michael.
Take care.